Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Drop Off. As I'm sure you guys have noticed, the show has been on a break because, that's right, you guessed it, peak season. For those of you who don't know, peak season is the busiest time of year for us UPS drivers. So it shuts down all outside ventures that anyone has in life. But I want to thank those of you who stuck around to support what we have going on here with the show. And I wanted to let you guys know we're back to action. And we will be releasing shows on a regular basis once again. On this episode, I'm joined by Lamar Glen. He is one of the guys from our driving class who I got to know really well over the years. And I'm glad we got to have this conversation to share with you guys. I want to hear from you guys that listen to the show. So please leave a comment to let me know how you guys think the show is going. And if there's anything like topics you want to hear get covered, or if you have your own 2 cents about any of the topics we cover. And don't forget to hit that like button for your boy, and don't forget to subscribe to the show if you haven't already. Also, we have some merch for the show at hub702.store. So check us out there and pick up a crew neck sweater or a t-shirt to be styling and support the show. Thanks again, everybody, for listening. So let's get to the show. Okay. So first question. So Glenn, who did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
When I grew up, man, I thought I was going straight to the league, man. I thought I was going to be the next Allen Iverson, man. Only thing that was on my mind was just making it, basketball, 24/7. I was on all the recreation centers, just balling. That's it. That's all I was thinking about.
So was it Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson.
He was the one?
He was the chosen one.
Okay. So, because for me, it's a few different people.
Uh-huh.
So, Baron Davis.
Oh, yeah, he was nice.
Because he's an L.A. dude and I'm from L.A. Mm-hmm. So, in L.A., Baron Davis is a legend.
Yeah.
So, Baron Davis, and then they came into the league together. Mm-hmm. Stephon Marbury.
Oh, yeah.
And Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
And I always get people always like, how you choose Stephon over Allen Iverson? Because Stephon Marbury, like, his game matched my game more. He was more just like, he wasn't. Allen Iverson was more finesse to me. Stephon Marbury was more of a thug, just like I'm just hit you with a smooth jab and crossover, and then I'm to the lane,
right,
and I'm at the rim on you.
Right.
That was more of my game.
That's usually how it is. People just gravitate towards the players that they feel resonate with them,
Mm-hmm.
So with me, it was Allen Iverson. I felt like he had that fierceness about him. That, he don't really care, breaking all the rules.
So you feel like that was more like your attitude as a young man?
Definitely.
So why? What do you think that part of like that was more your personality growing up as a young dude?
I don't know. I just feel like I kind of had it a little rough growing up, So I just felt like I had a lot of just stuff just bottled up in me, and I just felt like I just had to just take it out on the court. You know what I'm saying? Once I fell in love with the game, I felt that that was just a place for me to just let all that go.
Right. And I vibe with that, and I actually think that's like what you said is real important, because a lot of the guys who were either play professional sports or I'll even say like become successful in life that didn't grow up in a certain type of situation where like they had a silver spoon put in their mouth, they grow up in situations where it hardens them. And I heard this on Joe Rogan's podcast before. He says soft men create hard times create hard men create soft times. Right. And I feel like we have in common growing up in hard times, whether it not necessarily being like not saying like we had bad parents or anything like that, but even though we might have had good parents, it wasn't like they could like give us everything we wanted, like how I'm pretty sure you do for like what your kid is like, Dad, I want this, I want that. You like, all right, whatever, like, because you got it,
right.
So I do feel like growing up like that to where you see other kids like just have stuff, and you just look out into the world and people just have stuff, and then you don't have it.
Right.
It does give you a certain type of edge in your character.
Oh, definitely.
And basketball did the same thing for me what it did for you. Like, it allowed me to have like an outlet, specifically more in football.
Okay.
Because in like
Play football too.
I was a murderer in football, and I only stopped playing once I got to high school because my high school basketball coach was like, "Hey, I need you to make a decision because I really don't want you to play football because, like, hey man, you're how we're gonna get to you're how we're gonna get to the CIF championship."
He saw something in you.
Yeah, so he was like, man, please, like, just dedicate yourself to just this. And like, my dad will tell like anybody who asks him, I was 1,000 times better in football than I was in basketball. But I just love basketball more. I just gravitated to it more. Okay, so tell me a little bit, like, specifically about what it was like for you growing up. So, like, for number one, where are you from?
From Bay Area. So I moved out here from Oakland, California. I've been out here in Vegas since the 6th grade.
Okay.
That whole transition, I mean, looking back, was pretty decent,
Okay.
Better opportunity out here. But, yeah, it was...
What do you remember about Oakland?
About Oakland? I remember the energy, even back then, just when I would go out to play, just being on the street, and it just be a lot of crazy stuff going on. People driving down the street,
Okay.
playing, music real loud, and just. But when I was young, I kind of liked that, But my dad did the right thing, by getting us out here.
Okay. So I've been to Oakland a couple times. So when you say the energy, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's I don't want to say grimy because that's not really the word. It's more of a, boy, you better be hard out here
Oh yeah.
type of energy. Like, you can't be no punk
Yeah.
and like really live out here. So I remember like going up there to play basketball tournaments, and every time we would play a team from Oakland, whether I would play them out there in Oakland or I was somewhere across the country and we played a team from Oakland, they was always some tough dudes.
Oh yeah.
All the time. Like,
I think a lot of that just what they've gone through growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like we was talking about earlier. That's their outlet where they take that out on the court.
The environment. Okay. So I do want to ask you about, what was your path finding your way into UPS? Like, for me, so let me give an example. So for me, mine was after college, I was like, okay, I have to do something. And I didn't necessarily know exactly what I was going to do, but after college, something happened where I figured out, like, okay, well, I'm not doing basketball no more, so I have to join the workforce. Okay, this is new, but all right, let's give it a try. So I went through a few jobs before I actually made the transition into UPS. So what was your transition or path to not even starting UPS, but finding UPS?
Okay. Well, like you, I worked a few jobs, but I pretty much just considered everything a job. Like, even when I got into UPS. So right before UPS, I was working at Review Journal. I was out there working 7 days a week, delivering the newspapers. So in a sense, it kind of prepared me for UPS with, just dealing with customers on a daily basis, driving around, looking at addresses. But I ended up losing that job. So I pretty much had my back against the wall, and I was putting a lot of pressure on the family members, borrowing money. I had just had my daughter at the time too, so I was in a tough predicament. I had a brand new car too, so I wasn't making the payments on it. But I actually just looked through the through the newspaper, where they usually post jobs, and I saw that UPS was hiring. This was right before peak season.
Okay.
So put in the application, and got called for the interview.
Do you know, that sounds like such an old person thing?
I know, with the
I was looking through the newspaper through the wanted ads, and then I found out, oh, people hiring in the newspaper. That's crazy. 'Cause if young people are gonna hear that and they gonna think we old or something,
right?
Not realizing that no, this change that just happened is super recent,
right?
Like this just happened where
the whole internet. That's our generation.
Yeah, that's like people don't realize like dog, this internet is new. There's like this is the switch happened during our time,
right? 2000.
Yeah. So that's crazy. You said I was looking through the newspaper.
Through the newspaper.
That's wild.
I'm drinking coffee though.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Because I'm like I don't know what fascinates me about like old men, but I like to do a lot of old men activities. So,
like what? Give me some examples.
So the newspaper.
Yeah.
I will take the newspaper from my next door neighbor's driveway.
Yeah.
And I'll read it while I'm smoking a cigar and drinking coffee, and then I'll go fold it back up and go put it back in his driveway. Because I'll be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning anyway.
Yeah.
So
you got a subscription too.
Yeah, and he's cool. He knows about it. He knows about it.
That's
so
cool.
So I do want to ask you, what was your favorite job? Like during, because I know you probably had a few jobs before. Like for me, this is gonna sound crazy, but I was a telemarketer at one point.
Me too.
And I remember because I used to work with some knuckleheads at the office.
That's all that was there.
And I remember like we would do impressions of people and call people, like, you know that movie what is it called with Keith Stanfield? Damn it. It's with him and fucking Danny Glover. But anyway, like he calls people and he puts on like a white man's voice.
Oh, that's what y'all was doing?
Yeah. I was doing that. I was a Jamaican dude. I was an Indian dude one time. And like that's the kind of, it was stupid, but it was so fun.
It made it fun.
It made it fun.
Yeah.
That and actually Walmart. I used to work at Walmart too. That was a fun job too because it was a whole bunch of idiots like myself, young and stupid, and we made that job real fun too.
Well, what were you doing up there?
So I was I don't even know the name of it anymore, but the semis or the feeder trucks would come and then we would unload the feeder trucks.
Oh, okay.
And then after I did that, I would go and like I was supposed to like they call it what did they call it? But I would like go and stage the aisles and stuff, right?
Yeah. End caps and all that.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
So I would do stuff. I was stealing donuts. I was I was eating donuts, walking through the back. I was taking all type of candies, chips. So that was fun too because I was never hungry.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
And I was cool with the people there, and they were just like, man, just go ahead and take a little bag of chips. After they caught me, of course, they decided like, all right, listen, we kind of figured you was going to do that. Everybody does it here. So I was like, you know what? I like this place. I'm going to eat every day.
Yeah.
I can relax, and do other things.
Yeah,
So what was your favorite job?
I was actually about to mention Walmart as well. I worked there as well.
What?
Yeah, so
out here?
Out here.
Which one?
I worked at the one on Lake Mead, and what is that? Is it Michael? Not Michael. It's right over there.
Over by like the
that's in the west.
Oh,
on that street over.
Lake Mead and
what is
Rainbow?
Is that Rainbow? No, that ain't.
No. That's that is Rainbow. That is
right
Rainbow.
Down the street from there.
Okay.
Yes,
I do know
at that location.
Oh, the one on Cheyenne.
Is it Cheyenne?
It might
It's
be.
been a while.
Okay. Yeah, I worked at the one on Tropical Parkway.
But
that was tremendous. That was so much fun.
Funnest job I ever had.
So why was it fun though?
It was fun. I was doing overnight stocking. You know, so I really took a liking to just, and I was operating a little machine too to bring it off of the high rise.
Yeah.
And just, I just really enjoyed stocking it and, just getting everything in there. Plus, to top it off, my best friend worked there too. So you already know.
Y'all was in there acting a fool.
Right. So we would have, little competitions on who can, knock out the most boxes an hour. Always turn everything into a little competition to get some type of performance out of myself.
So that leads me into my next question, because you said you worked overnight, right? So you already had some type of feeling or some type of awareness of what it was like to work like a graveyard shift. So how was it for you coming into preload?
Preload. Well, it was such a big gap between the Walmart job and doing a preload shift. You know, because before then I had got some 9-to-5s. You know, working at telemarketing places, but it was all right because I didn't really have any issues getting up early. Because I'm usually an early bird anyway, so I'm usually up. But it was tough just adjusting in my sleep hours, you know, because I tend to like to stay up late. So I would still try to stay up till like 11.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
Go to sleep for like 4 or 5 hours, and be at the play.
So question. I was just having a conversation about this in my household. There's a person in my household who likes to say like, "No, I'm good off of just 4 or 5 hours of sleep."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You're nuts. That's first of all, that's stupid." So basically, you're just taking naps all your life. You're not really getting no real deep sleep. So do you feel like when you sleep like that, when you only get 4 or 5 hours, do you feel like that's better for your body than getting a legit 7-8 hours of sleep?
Nah, not necessarily. Nah.
Thank you for the record. I know you're gonna listen to this. I told you what you said was some bullshit.
I can do 5 hours, and then just follow it up with maybe like a 6 or 7. But to consistently just do 5, it'll eventually catch up to me. Especially as you start to get a little bit older, and you need just 6, 7.
So listen, so it's interesting that you mentioned that as you get older, right? So I was just challenged at the building. Yeah. I think I remember. I think you might have been there when it was like, J.Love, there's no way you can run a 5-second 40. Yeah. I'm like, bruh, I'm not 40 years old. I'm not even close to 40 years old, man. What are you talking about, right? So I go out there, I take somebody with me.
Oh, you did it?
I did. So I go out there, I have somebody with me so we can time my 40. My first 40 time was 5.02.
What?
So I'm like, thought so. I was like, and I think I could do better.
Who clocked
So
this?
We'll get to it. So then my second time, I do a 4.9. So I'm like, whoo, I knew I still had wheels. But immediately after the second one, I was like, I can't run anymore right now. I'm like, there's no way I'm sprinting.
How you feel the next day?
So this was on Thursday.
Okay.
Today is Monday. My legs still hurt. I'm not bullshitting. Yeah. My legs are still sore right now. So I know exactly what you mean when you say the older you get, your body starts to adjust. And literally Thursday to today was my first real introduction of, ooh, you starting to get a little bit older now.
Damn.
Because my body is like, man, just not even 2 years ago, if I would have did that, I would have been straight the next day. Like, not even. I would have been able to keep sprinting.
Right.
But now I'm like, no, I can't do it. What? And also, I want to shout out my boy, Wilborn, who was out there busting people down in the parking lot, and my boy, Bobby Chapman. Both of them dudes won their races. I told y'all still got wheels. Ooh. And I encourage everybody, get out there and see how fast you can run still. Everybody who's like an older dude.
Right.
Go do that still. I guarantee you still got it.
But just make sure you off the next couple of days.
for sure. You said the right thing. Yeah, make sure you off.
Well, I was going to say, what's crazy is, though, you would think that you're using these muscles on a daily basis, with the jobs and stuff, but I guess you're putting some intense strain on them with the run, with the sprints.
Because I thought about that, too. I was like, dude, I'm walking in and out the truck every day. I'm hitting hundreds of stairs. Right? I'm hitting hundreds of stairs every day walking out the truck. But I think it's the amount of energy in a sprint that is completely different from just, that's completely different than just walking up and down the stairs every day, or just carrying a big box and walking into the door and walking briskly to the door and then back to the truck. Okay. So what challenges do you remember about being a preloader?
I'm just loading. Well, let's see. When I got into UPS, they had me loading the what's it called, the U-Hauls. You remember we used to have the U-Haul pubs?
Oh yeah, because you did say peak season.
So I was loading U-Haul pubs, and then I remember sometimes they would have me go inside and actually help split the belt. So, and during that time, it's Jeff right up front, and I'm just packages just everywhere. So I got a little peek, and then seen that, I'm like, man, I don't know what I just got myself into.
People can't see my face right now, but I'm looking at you like, bro, you telling me all you had to do was split the belt?
Well, no, I ended up loading the trucks. But
okay, I was about to say
after the peak season, they put me on some trucks.
Okay, I was about to be mad as hell at you right now. I'm about to say, bruh, how'd you get off like that?
Yeah, no. So I was loading Wiggins' truck. I was loading Mario Carrillo truck. There's another, I want to say Peterson, his truck, and then I had a little Amazon little tote that I had to toss some packages into. Okay. Starting off with that, man, it was a little rough, because you don't realize that you gotta walk at a certain pace. You know what I'm saying? Because the belt gonna continue to go at this pace. It's not stopping. So it took me a little while before I could actually develop some type of little rhythm and pace to keep up with. But man, I used to be stacked out.
Yeah. Hey, that was my challenge. What you just said was figuring out the pace. That's what I didn't know how to do, but that's what took me. It didn't even really take me long. It just took me like a couple weeks. But to figure out the pace of, this is a job where you got to move the whole time. This is like playing soccer.
Yeah.
Except, in soccer you running, but I'm almost running the whole day.
Yeah.
With 1 15-minute break. Hold up, man.
And you got to develop that pace at 4 or 5 in the morning.
That's the other thing. So I was like, okay. It's crazy. Like, okay, so this is why, like D. Fawcett said, he was like, man, sometimes I think preloading is harder than driving. And at first I was like, no, I don't even think it's comparable. But then you think about like what you just said. No, get up at midnight and then move fast as hell.
Right.
Yeah.
All type of stuff.
Yeah, and think, and then be able to have put stuff in order, because you're not just. This is what I really realized. Not only do you have to move fast, but you're planning consistently throughout the day.
Right.
Because like you said, the belt keeps moving. So you got to plan. Okay, I see this coming down the belt. I have to figure out at what point in time I'm going to get it to take it to where that destination is going and put it on the shelf.
Right.
And then I have to know what's in front of that, what's behind that.
Yeah.
Okay, what shelf is already filling up, what shelf is not filling up, so I know what's about to come down the belt.
Right.
It's a whole bunch you got to think about if you're going to be good at it.
Oh, definitely.
And like, there's a lot of people who aren't good at it, but the ones who are good at it, there's a whole lot that goes into actually being a good preloader. So I want to take a minute or a second to shout out all the good preloaders. We definitely appreciate you guys.
Oh, definitely. And it's like once you get up out that truck, your stuff, you better be going to the right. You got to be going to the left. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay ahead of that belt, because once you get behind, it's a wrap. It's
okay. No, that's the truth. Okay. So tell me about what it was like for you when you got the call, it's time to put on a driver uniform.
Oh, that was one of the happiest days of my life. I ain't gonna lie. Because just getting the opportunity to put that shield on, man, because right before I actually found out I could actually become a driver, I was already looking to go elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this is it. I'm done with this. And somebody, mentioned like, well, why don't you try driving? So I looked into that. They gave me the call, and once I found out the route I was going to be on, I looked it up, drove the area.
What route was it?
It was. What is the route number?
See, listen, that's how long you've been here.
Yeah, it's on.
Listen, that's another thing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm excited you're here because you're my boy.
Yeah.
So,
there it is.
So what route was it?
53G.
Oh, with the Best Buy. You got the Best Buy.
Best Buy, both sides business right there with the falls on there.
That's actually kind of smooth.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was smooth.
So what I was gonna ask you was, one, how long you been with the company?
Just made 10 years, December 10th.
Yes.
This year.
Yes.
Well, last year.
The reason I wanted to get that, because people are gonna hear this at the building, and then, people say the same thing to me that I'm sure they say to you, because we still look like we're in like our mid-20s, early 20s.
Right.
So then people hear how long we've been here, and they be like, "What?
Right.
How old are you, bro?" I'm like, "Yeah, nah, bro. I just look good.
Right.
But I've been here a long time. So you are legit OG. You have been here for a decade.
I appreciate it.
So, shit, motherfucker.
Right.
The company better appreciate it that you've been able to do it for so long. So what was it like first stepping out on the truck by yourself without the supervisor?
Without the supervisor, that first day it's a little nerve wracking, you know, because you ain't got the training wheels on no more, you know. It's all on you. So I struggled a little bit, you know. I thought that I could just beat everything with speed, you know.
Yeah.
Like you had mentioned in previous podcasts, you know, for the areas that you lacked, you know, you tried to make up with speed. But you know, it's like with anything that you do over time, you know, you start to develop a nice little routine. You know, you start to tweak it, talking amongst other drivers, incorporating different things. And eventually, you know, you get that overload down, you know, you get a nice little system. But I'll say probably after first, I'll say after 3 or 4 days, you know, I start to become like more comfortable with because you got to be comfortable driving a truck too. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
I was parking all in the middle of the street. you gonna have to wait. I wasn't about to hit nothing. You know, I didn't want to mess up the opportunity.
I had Jay King on here, and he was saying the same thing. He was like, "Yeah, man, when I first started, I was like super careful with everything." He was like, he was super careful with everything he was doing. I was like, bruh, me too. I was parking so far away from everything. Yeah. I'm like, the last thing we doing is hitting something.
Right.
So I want to ask you, because we were in the same class, right? And if you could run off some of the names of the guys in our class, because I try to tell the people at the building, we got the greatest class of all time, I think. And maybe not as far as like individual drivers,
right,
but as far as a collective of people who started at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been a better class than our class.
No.
So if you could name these two.
So we had you, me, J. King was in there. Who else was it? Skylar. Was Bobby in there? Who else we had in there?
We got J. Rudd.
Oh yeah. Rudd?
He's not that far from behind us.
J. Rudd was in the same class?
Yeah. He started like, I think he might be like 6 months after us. Oh, okay. Maybe. Okay. So when I say our class, I mean like within the year.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Rudd too. Now we got a lot of people that actually made it. You know what I'm saying? That was just.
So I'm gonna name the people that made it, because you said one name in there that a dude didn't make, and that was Skylar. Skylar, if you ever hear this, bro, we love you. Shout outs to you, bro. But it's me, you, Alan Williams, Bobby Chapman, Rakim Lowe, Jay King, Vanessa Tidwell, Shane Williams. I don't know if I said Booney, but it's him too. It's J. Rudd. I want to say Christian Peterson, but I don't know if he was I don't know if he makes the cut, but I want to say Christian Peterson too.
Right.
So, and I know it's like 2 or 3 more dudes that I'm forgetting. Our roster of dudes
is strong.
Is so thick of dudes who are actually super good drivers.
Right.
So
it's the all-star.
It's legit like the all-star team. So I was getting backlash because I said Jay King was probably the best dude in our class. And I don't know if you remember, but I wanted to get your interpretation of it. But from what I remember, Jay King was murdering stuff immediately.
Yeah.
And he was beating routes the first week. He wasn't coming up on no type of reports. He was teaching other dudes like myself.
He was a mentor.
He was a mentor while he was in his packet, which is crazy. So when I give Jay King he's the best driver of our class, I give him the Michael Jordan status. People always want to even dudes in our class be like, nah. I'm like, bro, I don't know what you was watching, but Jay was that dude.
Yeah, nah.
Bro, you had an accident. Jay didn't have no accidents. All right?
Nah, it was Jay King for sure. I'll give it up to him.
Okay.
You know, he was knocking out routes. He knew how to read that map, and, you know, he just didn't ever look like he felt any pressure. You know what I'm saying? He was that guy.
Okay. So what are some of the things you still remember from your early days of driving? I'll go first. So one of the things I remember from my early days of driving was the stupid mistakes that I would make. Okay, y'all don't judge me for this. So I used to be in such a panic, not panic, but it's such a okay, we got to get out here because I got to get this air off. I don't know where I'm going. So on more than one occasion at Red Rock, I was supposed to, you got to stop, you get gas, and I would forget to put the gas cap back on. And I would go and deliver the route with no gas cap on the truck,
I did
dog.
that too.
Man, listen. So if you're a new driver and you do that, listen, bro, I did that too, man, many times. Also, one thing I remember from my early days of driving, I cracked so many mirrors. Like, I used to be so scared to park the truck when you got back from delivering the route. And then you got to, like, back the truck into these tiny-ass places.
Yeah.
And, bro, I cracked during my career, at least 7, 8 mirrors. Yeah.
Mirror's gone.
Yeah, mirrors gone. Yeah, for sure. For sure I did that. So what are some of the things you remember from your early days of driving?
From my early days, I was just as nervous as you. As soon as that PCM was over, man, I was running to the truck trying to get the air off. I would say, well, some of the mistakes that I would do, and nobody told me about until I found out later. You remember when we had the savers?
Yeah.
Every time, like around 240, I would break it off and run and delivering all of those. You know what I'm saying? No matter if it was resi or not. What else was I doing? It was a lot of stuff. I mean, you just be forgetting to bring the air back or drop it off at the location. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Then you got to drop all the way back to the building.
Yeah, but one of my biggest things that I wasn't doing is because it's just so prideful. When they throw you on like a route that's blind, and I was just too prideful to just call for help. So I would just be out there just drowning, missing pickups and everything. Just like, nah, I'm gonna get it done.
Listen,
I'm like, man, because I didn't like nobody helping me. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get it done.
I get it. Because I did that maybe 2 times in my early career as a driver.
Yeah.
And then Brandy let me know. First of all, she screamed at me.
She trained me.
She screamed at me. She was like, dude, don't you ever do this dumb shit ever again, okay? If you know it's a problem, just call. You not Superman. Stop being stupid. And that's one of the reasons like I love Brandy, because she could talk to me like just like how I said that. She could talk to me just like that, and it wasn't like offensive. It was like, yeah, I know, I was stupid. I get it. And she was like, all right, now just don't do it again. Like, be better.
Right.
And I was like, I appreciate it because it was like an older sister.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember. The one thing I remember about you that has completely changed, and this is why I tell new drivers, I see what you're doing now, but you're not going to look the same in a while. I remember how fast you used to walk through the building. Bruh, you used to be a super speed walker.
DJ Junior up in
dude, just walking from like your truck to get the call tags, or from the office to your truck, or to get the high values and go to the truck. You would be walking so fast. I'm like, dude, this dude is on a mission everywhere he's going.
Good start, man. You know how it is out there because you do everything to save time. When you in your packet, you putting on your seatbelt real fast, you throwing it in gear fast. So I was just trying to get off to a good start.
Have you noticed that in yourself now? Like, have you noticed like
the slowdown?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that comes with time being there, just being able to be more comfortable, with what you're doing versus a rookie. You going out blind and stuff, and just seeing all type of butterflies, stomach hurting. I think that just comes with time, just being there and being comfortable.
Because I do remember in the beginning, you as well as I and a bunch of other guys, we weren't like the vets. Like now, when I walk in the building in the morning, it'll be like you, J. Rudd, whoever. Like y'all just be kicking it,
right?
Like just chopping it up, talking, bullshitting. In the beginning, we were nowhere to be found. We were at the truck, bruh.
Right.
Like
sorting, going through that.
Exactly. So then now, like you can tell that's like the tale of who's been here for a while. Because if you've been here for a while, we see you. Like, okay, like you're either by the office, you in the office, like talking shit, having a good time, you in the back, smoking cigarettes, laughing, or you up front where the computers are, just like laughing, talking to everybody, making jokes.
Right.
If you knew, you're nowhere to be found. Like you're in the truck or you're in like a cave somewhere trying to figure out your day or something like that. So I thought that's that's an interesting transition I've seen you go through. Okay, so who were some of the people early in your career who influenced you or had an impact in making you the driver that you are today?
Yeah, I don't have nobody in particular as far as like one driver. Like I mentioned before, just whatever route I was on, I would, after being there for some time, you learn to just talk to those drivers and just get tips and tricks and just about the route and just extract any type of, information that you can apply to your job, something that they're doing, and then just incorporate it. So, I had Tom Spindler, Wiggins, Al Diamond, talking to him. Who else? It's a long list of, drivers that I kind of leaned on.
So do you find that in certain parts of your career, it'll be different people? Like, I have the guys who helped me early in my career, and I'm noticing now the guys who are starting to give me the information that I'm like actually looking for, or like that group of people is changing. Like, for instance, a guy I've been learning, I learned a lot from like this last year, has been Joe Cantu.
Okay. Because
me and Cantu, we were in the same, I got a new route now, but I was in the 60 loop last year. And Joe Cantu, we were in the same loop, and he would bring me his pickup volume from his UPS store, and he would bring me his air every day.
To help you load it.
So I would talk to Cantu every day while we picked up the UPS store. And I didn't even know Cantu had been here for 20 years. So just talking to Cantu and listening to the things he's been through with the job, like whether it be like the health situation he's had with the job, or the amount of time dealing with the stress as you get older, how to adjust for having family time and personal time, and adjusting like your mental outlook, or preparing for what's about to happen when you walk away from the job, and the importance of taking vacations, like actual taking vacations and not working through them. Because I remember I was talking to him. He had pulled up and was like, "Oh yeah, hey JJ, by the way, I'm gonna be gone for the next 7 weeks." I'm like, "Oh, what you mean? What happened? You all right?" He was like, "No, I'm going on vacation, man. I'm about to be gone." I'm like, "So you're about to take the whole 7 weeks at one time?" He was like, "Absolutely." He was like, and he was breaking down the positives of why he breaks down his vacation like that and why he does that. And I was like, man, I never thought about it like that, because there are a lot of perks to doing that. Like, for one, think about getting that check at once.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So think about getting that check at once. So then, like, if you're financially smart and then you take care of stuff up until that point, so that whole 7 weeks, you're about to be gone, all your stuff is already taken care of, and then boom, you get hit with that. So while you're gone for that 7 weeks, you're like legitimately free.
Right.
I'm like, damn, Cantu, I never really thought of that. That's like a great way to have a vacation. that's actually pretty.
A real vacation.
That's a real vacation. Because he was telling me, he was like, yeah, man, you can go away for a week or even 2 weeks. But throughout, like, say you're gone for a week, by day 2, you're already like, all right, I know I'm about to have to go back to work. Or even on the second, like, you do it for 2 weeks. Like, maybe the whole first week, you're
already thinking about it.
Yeah, you're like, all right, I know I'm about to have to go back. So you're not even really mentally free from this place. And he's like, man, if you're gone for almost 2 months, you don't even think about this place. And think about how your mind and body is going to feel for, if you're gone for 7 weeks, for 5 of those weeks, and maybe even 6, you don't even realize you have a job. I'm like, oh,
yeah, that's nice right there.
That is great. So I'm like, eventually, I think I'm going to do that.
Right.
I don't think right now is the time for me to do that, because like I said, he's been here 20 years.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, I think when I start getting up to like year 15, year 20, I think that might be how I want to start taking my vacations.
Yeah, that's definitely, that's nice right there.
Yeah.
Not only that, you're giving your body a break, from the job, you know what I'm saying? Because 2 days off, that's not going to do it right there. But if you actually got 7 weeks off, you can actually, plan vacation and spend that time, rightfully so, with the family, like you should.
Because you also got to think about. So once you hit, because we just got the extra week. So right now we got a full month of vacation, and then we got the option week, the option day, and the 5 sick days.
Right.
So we got 7 weeks right now. We almost got a legit 2 months.
Could put something together.
So these dudes that have been here for 20 years, they got like 2 months plus a time. So not only does he get to take the 7 off, he still got more vacation time.
Right. He does it in the summertime?
No.
Nah.
This last one, and he said that's actually like a bad idea.
Man.
I think you kind of want to work during the summer. Is that how you said it? I'm forgetting. Don't quote me on that, people. If you hear that, can too. If I messed that up, forgive me. But I forget why. But he doesn't do it like that for whatever reason. But I actually like working the summers.
Really?
I enjoy it.
Oh man.
Because I don't know about you, but do you feel like you're in great shape?
I don't.
I mean during the summer. In great shape during the summer.
Well, I usually try to work out, you know what I'm saying? Because I got to a point in the UPS career where body started hurting, you know what I'm saying? I was dealing with lower back issues. So I felt like the only other options for me was to actually find something else, or I'm going to hit the gym, you know what I'm saying, and try to strengthen my body. So I chose the gym. So, I work out and just try to strengthen my body and strengthen those muscles to where, it's not so hard on my body, and the job become a little bit more easier. And so far, I mean, it's all right. I don't feel like I'm,
there yet, but you feel like you're making progress.
Yeah,
you know who told me that a long time ago? He was like, you got to hit the gym doing his job. Rico. You remember Rico from Red Rock?
Yeah.
Rico told me that a long time ago. He was like, J.Love, even though you do this job, like you still gotta hit the gym and get your body strong. I'm like, dude, this isn't enough? What you mean hit the gym? And then now, it's only now in like year 10 that I really remember all of the smart stuff that people were saying in like my first year and second year. I'm like, okay, you were brilliant. I hadn't been here long enough to know what you was talking about.
Oh yeah, like earlier in my UPS career, I was just muscling everything. I ain't need no dolly. Now I'm not leaving the building unless I got a dolly in that truck.
Understood.
And I pull that thing out 1,000 times if I had to.
Isn't when you think about it, we were so stupid.
Yeah,
we was dumb as hell. I don't know why I felt like that. Just like how you said, no, I'm about to just yoke this right to the door because I got it. I'm strong. I'm young.
Right.
And then year 5, 6. Oh, what is that pain? What is that pain in my lower back right now?
Right.
Why does my hip feel? Why I feel like I'm walking uneven? What's going on?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So this is what I was saying about why I like working in the summer, because for one, I feel like that's when I drink the most water.
That's true.
I also feel like that's when I do the most sweating. So I feel like the summer is like my healthiest time of year. That's like my body's physical reset.
Okay.
Because all I'm doing, I'm drinking water the whole day. All I'm doing is sweating out bad stuff all day. And then that's when I get my best sleep is during the summer. Because I'll be so tired.
From that sun.
Yes. So then also I feel like remember how they said during COVID, a lot of the people during COVID, the people that were having like the bad reactions were the people who were super depleted in vitamin D. The vitamin D comes from the sun. So I'm like, just beat down on me.
Right.
So I just feel like in the summer, that's like my prime. That's like the best time for my body. And I've been anxious like to ask other people if they felt the same way. Because usually drivers say, no, I hate the summer. And I definitely hate the heat part of the summer. But I feel like the summer exists in both the extremes for me. So being out there all day sucks. But at the same time, my body feels incredible at the end of every day. Yeah,
now I don't feel the same with that, but that's a good way of actually looking at it. I don't like being in the sun for them long periods of time. Honestly, I feel like peak is the summer for us.
Really?
Yes.
This peak was the best peak season of all time. It was marvelous.
Right. That's why I feel like the summertime is the real peak.
Yes. Okay. I dig it. Yep.
But no, definitely sweating and getting all that out of there. I never thought of it that way, you know. So that's a good way of looking at it because you do a lot of sweating. You know, you don't even necessarily go to the bathroom. You know, you just sweating everything out. You drinking over a gallon a day.
I do want to ask you because you brought up peak season,
Yeah.
right? Heavily debated topic right now at the building. People have been so mad at the PVDs, right? Because the PVDs have been taking everybody's work.
Yeah.
I have been ecstatic about the PVDs. I was one of the early dudes on the PVD train. Like, y'all come get all of this shit. Y'all want to take the 7,000 and 8,000 shelf every day?
Right.
Come get that, bro. You got it. I'm gonna do 50 less stops, maybe even 100 some days. Yeah, y'all heard that. Maybe even 100 less stops some days.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to work 8 hours. I'm going to just relax now. I'm not about to be in a clusterfuck all day. Well, I have to do this route now. So I know a lot of people were mad like, oh, the PVDs is taking all the work. Come get it, man. I was the first one raising my hand. Oh, y'all can have whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all want to take the whole truck? Y'all take the whole truck.
Right.
How did you feel about the PVD situation this year?
It's pros and cons. You know, some days I was ecstatic, you know, to actually get off early and just be at home with the family. But I went into this peak season actually thinking that I was going to work a little bit of overtime. Like, all right, look, I worked about 6:30, 7 o'clock, get a little bit of OT. But I mean, I'm okay with it. But I definitely thought I was going to make a lot of money, and I think that's what a lot of people are having a hard time with is, you know, because they go into peak season thinking that they're going to make all the money, the Christmas money and stuff, but it didn't pan out like that.
So, to those people saying that, okay, that feel like that, all right? So, I'm going to just say it, all right? Y'all could have said, y'all could have went and did the extra work. Right. So, why didn't y'all say, hey, after y'all did y'all route, give me the extra work?
Yeah.
So this is what I think. I think what happened to a lot of dudes was after they did the route, there was like, no, I think I'm just gonna go home. Yeah. I'm done. I don't think I want to go do the extra work.
Right.
And because this is what I do know. There's quite a few guys. I could probably name like 7 or 8 of them who, after they did their route, they went and took work from the PVDs. Yeah. They went and did it because they wanted the extra work, so they went and got their money.
Yeah.
But I think that COVID just ended. Like, it's only been like a full year since we've been out of COVID. Because COVID like literally ended like the beginning of 2022. Because there was still some remnants of the amount of work we was doing, right, in 2021. So I think what happened was dudes were like, kind of got the fever like how I got, right? Because I told you, I only worked like 1,400 hours this year. I was Mr. Go Home.
Right.
So I think when peak season got here, a lot of dudes was like, let me just get let me go home. Let me get some of my life back.
Yeah. I think a lot of the guys actually, they wanted that work, but the tough part is they wanted to work on the truck. So once you actually do your route and you see that truck is empty, you're not going to call and ask for more work to fill it back up, you know, but they wanted the work, but the work, they wanted it to be there, you know, from beginning to end, not have to call. You know, that's the tough part, because once it's empty, I'm going home.
So I will say, I think you all the way correct. I think that was an interesting mind game that they played on the drivers.
Yeah.
It was, I think that word right there, strategic. I think the work was there if you wanted to make the effort to go get it.
Right.
But I think a lot of people was like how you said, once the truck got empty, the mind trick worked. And there was like, nope.
Right, I'll ask for it tomorrow.
Yep. Yep. And then tomorrow get here, I'm like, nah, man, it's Friday, man.
Right,
I'm just
peek over with.
I'm just going home. Okay. So next question. So what are some of the things that you picked up from other drivers that you've adopted into your style of doing the job?
Definitely that hand cart. I had a lot of veterans telling me, you know, just use the hand cart, you know, just put all of the weight on the dolly. Don't put it on your body. You know, so that. What else was it? Someone told me about the map on the new diet. You know, that thing is clutch because for a while.
Is it?
Well, yeah, the actual map. So when you can click on the map and see the area of all the stops that you actually got. So for a while, I was just running it, and then I would be going back to neighborhoods because then sometimes they don't have you delivering every single one over there. So I would just hit the map and just zoom in. You'll see all the stops that you got right there, and just click, just go over there.
Did you just teach me something right now? I think you might have just taught me something right now.
No, that was clutch right there. So if you want to make sure you got all the stops in the area, just go hit the map, zoom in, and if you delivered it, it'll disappear.
Okay.
Yeah. That right there.
Tomorrow.
That would change the game for me.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna have to see what that's about. Because I've been doing like how you said. I've just been going off of the manifest, just whatever it says.
Yeah.
I'm just a veteran enough driver to know, like, let me scroll a little bit, make sure I'm not passing nothing up.
Right.
Because it's my route. I know everything on it. So let me just make sure I'm not skipping those streets. Mm-hmm. But okay, I could just hit the map button and then it'll just show me the whole little
every area that you got with the stops.
I'm about to
that, and I think
why are you about to make me get done a whole nother hour earlier? I only work 7 hours now a day, and now you about to have me done in 6 hours?
That, and I think what a lot of people sleep on is actually just sliding them packages forward. It's a simple method, but you don't realize how much time you actually save just sliding up the shelf. You get rid of the 1,000 shelf, you start sliding up the 5s. So when you pop the door, especially in that summertime, you don't want to be in the back of that oven.
Yeah.
So you just reach in. Half the time I don't even take no steps into the back of the truck.
That is
just reach in and grab it.
That is definitely something that I do as well, and I think I don't know exactly what point in time in a driver's career where they understand how valuable that is.
Oh, yeah.
But at some point in time, every driver figures that out. Mm-hmm. Everybody figures out, bruh, bring everything up here.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go do that other stuff. But
that, or when I'm actually, when you're looking at the diet and you seeing all the stops you got, and sometimes, when you're looking for a stop and you see like the third stop down, I just grab that and I just toss those on like the empty shelf. That way I know where they are, because when you go back there and try to look for it again, it ain't gonna be in that same spot.
Right.
So just little small stuff like that to actually save you some time and get you home.
Mm-hmm. I think for myself, some of the more impactful things I've picked up from other drivers have a lot to do with health. Mm-hmm. Like even just like, for instance, recently within like one of my last few shows, having DeFoss on, and him explaining like what happens to your body, like if you don't eat enough, then your body's about to start eating its muscle, and like how to meal prep properly throughout the day, like little stuff like that. It's either like health things or like mental tricks to stay motivated about the job. Those type of things that have helped me. So the next question I want to ask you is, what do you love about being a UPS driver?
I love this. If you're looking at it compared to another 9-to-5 job, you have somewhat of a sense of freedom compared to somebody just being in a cubicle all day. I like being able to drive around, just talk to different people. It's not the same thing every day, Mm-hmm. If I'm tired of one area, then I can go to another area,
Yeah.
Just like right now, I'm in Summerlin. I want to be around some green, more grass and stuff, because I feel like that.
That's where you at now?
Yeah, I'm in Summerlin.
Hold up. hold on, dog. What part of Summerlin? Like the top, like Danny Zamora Summerlin, or like old John Reed Summerlin?
Well, I was up there, John Reed Summerlin, up there, but now I'm over on Rampart, Lake Mead, over there.
Okay.
Over there by that Smith's.
Yeah.
On the opposite side, right there, going up to Hill Point, So I feel like I just wanted to be around more trees and just.
Is that Sarabia's old route?
72F. It was a Christian.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's got some nice residents.
Boy, you made it. Boy, you made it. Okay, so I want to ask you something about that route.
Yeah.
So I've known Christian, he did the route, and Taurus did the route, and they both said the same thing.
Yeah.
They said the route was boring.
Boring.
Yes.
What are they looking for?
Listen, I don't know, right? But I made this argument when they said that. They said, man, they like the route, but it's boring. And my route is, I got a golf course community. Very boring. That's how I want it to be.
Exactly.
I don't want to have to be super on my P's and Q's because there's always a bunch of kids in the street. I don't want to be on main streets and dealing with a whole bunch of traffic lights.
Right.
I don't want to deal with any of that. So once I get off the freeway and I make the turn into my golf course, I'm there all day. I'm not seeing a main street.
Right.
My whole entire route, I don't see any main streets at all. So do you prefer for your route to be boring, or do you want some action?
I prefer it to be boring. The longer you've been there, you start to look for little things. So like I hopped off of the other route because I couldn't get my dolly all the way up to the door, because there's a lot of new homes that are being built specific ways to where there's a bunch of steps. And it's not like some of the older homes where you can just bring the dolly up the driveway and, there's another path to the front door. No, not that one. You got to carry all the packages. So that and just having to walk all the way around. The front door is on the opposite side, just like little stuff. But I prefer the route to be boring. So the route that I'm actually on right now, once I actually get there, I'm not dealing with no stoplights, and it just flows. The neighborhoods just flow right into the next neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little stuff like that I look for.
And I think also too, because I don't think they've been driving as long as we've been driving.
Yeah.
So I don't think people who haven't been driving as long as we've been driving, I don't think they understand the actual benefits of not having a street light,
Right.
not having action in the streets. Literally, when I'm at work, the whole neighborhood is either retired, so they're at home,
Right.
or everybody's at work, and the kids there's nobody home. So all my streets are empty all day. So it's just me in these streets. There is nobody else driving in these streets. It's just me.
Right.
It's fabulous. That is such a plus.
Right.
So I wanted to say one of the things that I love about the job is being outside. My job requires that I'm outside every day. So you remember how you hear people say this all the time? You wasn't outside when this was going on, or you wasn't outside when you was little and all of that, right? It's interesting how, as an adult, if you have a job where you have to go to an office, you're only outside. The only time you're going outside, like where you really spend time outside, is if you want to walk the dog, or you have kids and your kids are in the street.
Right.
You're not outside anymore. So when adults be like, "Oh, I'm outside," no, you're not, dog. You're outside while you're driving your car to go to a place inside. We're literally outside the whole day.
Right.
So that's something that I really do love about being a UPS driver.
No, me too. It don't get no better than that, man. That's a good perk.
Okay, so what do you hate about being a UPS driver?
I would say just the wear and tear on the body, man. That right there, I don't like that, because if you remove that, it's a nice job to actually have. So that, and another thing that I would say is, if you want to be a great driver, they don't allow you to be great. If you want to be great, they abuse the great drivers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, a lot of people just be wanting to shine, just knock the routes out, But
Yeah.
I will admit that it has changed a lot compared to when, we was in our package starting off.
Yeah, they don't get abused like we do.
No, they don't get
anymore.
abused.
It's not even
we
close.
used to really get abused like that. So that's the biggest one right there, Just those two things right there.
Okay.
And the time that you got to actually put in to it. But then again, there's a plus on that too, because based on how hard you work, you control what time you want to get off,
Right. What I have come to not like about this job is it's a new thing. me and you have been here for 10 years now. So the progression through our lives from day one to now has been an incredible progression. We've gotten to see what being able to be here and making the most out of this job and this place can do for you. So one of the things that I'm starting to see now a lot more is I'm starting to pay more attention to the people who are messing up the opportunity. And if anybody at the building, start peeping this out, start looking at this, start paying attention to the amount of people who aren't sticking around, the people who aren't making it through the difficult parts and getting over the hurdles so that they can be here long enough to see the change of after you like reach tenure here. So I'm saying that because it's actually a lot of people from preload all the way up to management. I'm not going to say no names, but from preload all the way up to management, you look at, because you get to know these people. So then you see all the lives that are being not cut short because they're not like dying, but potential that's not being fulfilled for people and their families because maybe the right person didn't get in their ear to give them the right advice, or the right person didn't touch them at the right time to help them out. And you just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to put into words, but you see all the people that, it was almost good. You almost made it. Yeah. And then you see the people it's a lot of people who aren't making it. And then if you see that for over a long period of time, it's starting to have an effect. Like, not like it's making me sad or no shit like that, but it's making me want to take more of a stance. Like, ooh, I got to try to talk to as many people as I can that I see that are starting to
slide.
Yeah, that are starting to slide.
Yeah, I think, it's easy for us to look back and see, because we're looking back at a time and we can relate during that time, when we were actually driving. But when I was actually in my packet that early on, I wasn't thinking about it as a career either, what I'm saying? Because that's the tough part with a lot of young drivers getting in here. To them, it's just another job, what I'm saying? So they don't really see the benefits and perks of actually just sticking around, because to them, they could just go find another job. But it's not until you actually look back on life and, just compare and just see, the opportunity that was right there in front of you.
Right. Okay. So the next question I wanted to ask you is, what has this job taught you about yourself?
The job has taught me many things. Like someone mentioned previously, how to be better with my time, how to organize. You got to organize the truck. I find myself doing things in life that I learned from the job, such as the methods, actually, when I'm driving. My wife said I drive like an old man, I tell her I'm driving safely. But what else? Why don't you give me something that you started and I'll go ahead. I need to think about it.
The big thing is what you just said. The methods of driving. How I drive the truck is now how I drive my own car. Like, I never did before I was a UPS driver, I never did the check my mirrors every 2 to 5 seconds. I never did that. Nah. So now when I'm driving, legit every 2 to 5 seconds, I hit all 3 mirrors. Boom. All the time. Like, all the time, I see everything that's going around me when I'm driving my own car. Yeah. I was telling Thyman this the other day. The biggest thing I learned about myself this year that I got from the job is I really, really value my personal time. because like I said, I only worked 1,400 hours, so I didn't even make my 2080. I added a whole another extra year on top of me having to work here. But in doing that, I really learned that there's nothing I like more than just having my son around, just being able to go downstairs and he's downstairs, or being able to yell downstairs, "Hey, little man, come up here," and him just being able to like lay in the bed next to me, and we just like watch a movie or play chess or hop on a game, like play some Call of Duty or some Plants vs. Zombies or something. I kind of got lost in the lost my values and dedicating so much time behind the wheel of the truck. And Lockhart mentioned that on his episode that he did, and like, you know, him going through his health episode. He was like, man, I just really didn't realize that I had my family on the back burner the way I did. And that happens. And kind of, taking so much time off this year, like really brought it to my attention. Like, man, you were doing that too.
Yeah.
You were.
No, I think all of us do that. Me too. I mean, that's everybody. And sometimes it just really hit home, especially like when the wife sends some pictures or something, or you FaceTime, and I appreciate those moments, but deep down you be really wanting to spend that time with them.
Yeah, you want to be there. Like, I don't want you to FaceTime me. I want to be there, so you don't got to FaceTime me. Right,
experiencing the moment with them. But also the job taught me that I enjoy just being by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like you
say that thing. Yes,
because it's not too often when you get home. That's pretty much family time, because you already didn't spend so much time at work on the trucks. So the chances of you actually getting some you time is very slim. Well, with me, in my case, so I get my you time on the truck when I'm actually out there driving. So all the things that I want to do throughout the day, whether that's listen to podcasts or listening to specific books, or talk to friends, I do all that stuff during that time.
That's interesting, man. I never thought about it like that. I don't know why I never considered my time on the truck as my personal time, but I probably should. I might be fucking up in some areas when I get back to the house, because I do be like, everybody leave me alone for a minute, because
that's the only time you can really just sit there and just think clearly, minus the noise that you get from the truck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was a good answer.
Especially if you got kids.
Yeah. Okay. That was a really good answer. Okay. So, do you find yourself doing any kind of coaching to the younger drivers that come in, or are you like more of a like, I'll let you little dudes figure it out on your own?
Yeah, I mean, the ones that actually, come to me, or I see that they're actually slipping on an opportunity, I might say something, because rather than just letting them just go downhill on their own, what I'm saying, I would feel much better if I actually felt like I said something to, just help put some seeds in their head to where they can see the opportunity, that they might be missing out on. Yeah, that's it.
See, I probably should, but I really don't as much as maybe I could or should. Like, the only time I'll like give some advice is if one of the young guys either comes and asks me, which will always be like off-putting, because they'll be like, "Hey, bro, I don't know you, so why are you just coming up to me?" But I don't never like act like that. I'll be like, I just help in any way I can. Or like another veteran driver will like be talking to one of the young guys and be like, "Hey, J.Love, come here. What do you think about this situation? How do you think this dude should handle it?" And then I'll give my 2 cents or how I think about something. But the reason I'm asking you that is because Wilborn said to me, because a few of the dudes are about to be gone, like a few of our OGs, they're about to walk out the door. And one of the OGs was like, "Hey, man, I need y'all to do y'all stuff, man." He says, this is your UPS now, J.Love. And I'm like, "Bruh, no. What you mean? This ain't my UPS." He was like, "Nah, man. like he says it jokingly,
Right.
but eventually he broke it down to me. He was like, I do need you to actually care about, because like you're a senior dude here now, so I need you to actually care about it, because if you don't treat this place like it's your place, my pension gonna get messed up. And I like, it hit me when he said that.
Man.
I'm like, oh damn, you actually saying something really important right now. So eventually I'm gonna get to your stage where I'm gonna be walking out of here, and if I leave this place to a bunch of knuckleheads, my pension ain't gonna be here.
That's right. That's what
So
you talk to.
I should probably start talking to some of these young dudes. Like, hey man, I kind of need you to evolve into a level of maturity here, to where you take care of this job, because if you don't do it well, I don't get paid
Right.
when I walk away from here.
Right.
So I kind of need y'all.
Right.
Like, we all need each other. We need the new dudes
Right.
to handle this responsibly. So
That's like the new generation too. You know, if you're looking at the Social Security, you know, because a lot of the new generation kids, they don't like working.
that
You know,
is-
so the Social Security might not be there, but it's the
mad
same
true.
with the pension.
That's very, very true. Damn it. That's depressing right there. Okay. So outside of the job, what are some of the things that you do to keep your sanity?
Keep my sanity, work out, spend time with family. My son right now, he's really taking a liking to basketball.
Well,
You
that's
know,
gotta
as
be
I
exciting.
Expected, yeah. So, you know, we got him basketball court and stuff. So every day, every time I come home, he want to play horse or, you know, play one-on-one, you know, and I got to give it to him.
Right.
So, you know, that I do that to clear my mind, and you know, sit in my backyard, man. I got a nice little deck out there. You know,
Okay.
that, and I could catch the sunset.
Boy,
too,
you said you
know,
got a deck? Look at you. Okay.
So, you know, just stuff like that, man. But majority of the time, you know, if I could relax, you know, that really helped me out there.
Okay. I'll do some nerd shit.
Oh, I got one more.
Oh, go ahead.
I got one more too.
Go
you
ahead.
know.
Go ahead.
The yoga and stretching. I do. That's mandatory before work.
Please expound. So, first of all, how did you get into that?
You know Seven Bomar?
Yeah, for sure.
So through that, you know, he drops a few videos of the yoga. So I'm like, man, let me give it just a try, you know, because during this time I was having some issues with my back. So I'm like, man, it just took so long for me to actually become my body to unlock throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? I would feel like super tense. So I just tried it, man. Just a bunch of yoga routines, and it really helped, really loosen up my body.
Okay.
And so when I come to work, you know, I feel like I've already, you know, got an hour or two in.
So, what's the routine with it? So, like, is that something like you do in the morning when you wake up?
In the morning before work. So, you know, when I
Okay.
get up, get ready, and before I even come downstairs, you know, I'm stretching, doing yoga, you know, then go downstairs, I probably eat, and then, you know, before I actually leave or take my son to the bus stop, you know, I got the gym in the garage, so, you know, I go in there,
Okay.
do a little workout, and yeah. off to
So,
work.
okay. So, what time are you getting up?
I'm getting up. Ideally, I want to get up like 5:30, but, you know, it might be 5:45, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
6 o'clock the latest, I'm up.
Okay.
Sure.
That's part of my new thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a 5 o'clock man.
Okay.
So, haven't got to it yet. I'm right there with you. I'm in the 6 o'clock arena. 6 o'clock, 6:15.
When I actually got my real estate license, during that time, it took me, I don't want to say about 3, was it 3? Yeah, it took about 3 months. During that whole time, the only time that I could find to actually squeeze into taking the courses online was actually early in the morning. So that whole time, it was 4 o'clock. I was up.
Ooh.
I was up reading, you know,
Okay.
and then taking my courses, you know.
Okay.
It felt good, though, you know, because you get all of the things that you want to do for the day out of the way, you know. So when you get off, you know what I'm saying, you already feel like you accomplished the day.
Right. See, in the process, I was just telling you, I'm in the process of reading Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. And that's crazy because that's one of the parts of the book is about how, what's her name? Her name is, I want to say, Toni Morrison is the author's name. So he talked about how what she would do is in the morning time, she was a single mother. She had, I believe, 2 kids. and she was an editor at either a magazine or a newspaper. So the only time she had to write would be in the morning, because that's the time when she was free. So not only was she free in the morning, but when you first wake up, that's when your mind is the most clear. And another unknown fact is when you first wake up in the morning, that's when you're most confident. So she was using the time where she had the clearest mind, where she felt most confident, and she was using that time, space, and self-awareness to create the book she was writing. And he gives a whole lot of examples of how, waking up early in the day is when you're your best self, and then that's when the best work is really done. Because there's a saying in there in the book. He says, nobody's people always say, I'm not a morning person. Nobody's a morning person.
I said the same thing.
And when you really think about it, morning people don't exist. It's not because no, don't get me wrong, some people do enjoy the morning time, but people that are up in the morning, like actually doing work, it's not because like it's for a reason.
Right.
It's not just because this is the time, like I want to do this shit. It's because there's a method to it. There's an actual reason, a productive reason why getting up that early is so important and impactful. And even in Marcus Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, he talks about how when he would wake up in the morning, he would be like, well, he would have to fight himself, like, oh, it's so comfortable being under this cover, but all that's going to do, like that comfort is just going to produce laziness and complacency. So that I am in that process right now of trying to adapt to being, even though I already get up at like 6:30, like before I was doing stuff, I'm trying to push it to the limit. Like, okay, let me get up at 5 where I can read a little bit more. I can maybe do more editing to the show. I can research more things. I can maybe work out. I can add a workout into that.
Right.
There's more stuff I can do if I get up earlier.
No, definitely.
So, okay.
I noticed that a lot of successful people, they'll talk about that, they get up that early, just to knock out everything. I feel like a lot of people, if you just try it first of all, you try it. And I was the same way. I said I wasn't a morning person, and just after a while, I took a liking to it, and I just noticed that not only did I feel good throughout the day, but you set the tone for the day. You know what I'm saying? Because if you wake up and you waking up late and getting up late, and you already feel like you behind. Yeah. Like you ever get to work late and then you just the whole day, you know what I'm saying? You just behind schedule.
Yeah.
So I feel like it really plays a toll on the remainder of your day.
Agreed. Okay. So we both just got finished reading the book Die With Zero. And I've been waiting to get your opinion on how you felt about the book and some of the things that were like interesting to you and like what you may have got out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start off first. So the most powerful thing I took from the book was the idea of memories being the most valuable thing in old age. So building up a memory bank of great experiences while you're physically able is important. So what did you first of all, how do you feel about that? Yeah. Like the whole idea of memories being what's actually really valuable as you get old, like when you're like 70, 80 years old. That's where the real value in life is.
Right. No, definitely, because if you talk to any person that's elder, they're going to reflect on their memories, you know what I'm saying? They're going to talk about a time, when they were in high school, just the moments in their life that were really precious to them. So when I first read the book, in the beginning, I was like, I don't know, about actually, just dying with zero. But the more that I actually read it, it definitely made sense. And it got me thinking about life. I'm actually planning a trip for the kids, to Disney World, So, it's a really good book, and it made me make some changes in my life. And I think everybody should actually read the book. But one of the things that I was actually wondering was the money set aside for the kids, But he was mentioning that you should just give it to them, when they need it during that time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good.
I like that.
I'm glad you said that, because that was on the other thing. That was the other thing I put under here that I liked, because that was something when I thought about like leaving money or assets for loved ones. I always thought about it in that frame of mind, or the frame of mind of, okay, right when I'm about to die, then I give it to him. And then I didn't think of how he put it in the book. Like, okay, if you're 80 years old and say you had kids when you're 25, like I was, if I'm 80, my son is 65 years old.
They don't need it then.
What is he gonna do? I might have said that wrong. Is it 65, 55, some shit like that?
Yeah, but I know.
Yeah, it don't matter.
That part too.
But he's already old now. Like, if I'm old and about to die, he's still old.
Right.
So what's he about to do with this? He ain't about to do nothing with this. He can't really go do nothing with it.
Right. He gonna pass it down.
Right. So
no, definitely when the kids need it, when they're alive, they can actually utilize it and make the most of it. Versus them actually, and he was saying that, the average age of which people actually inherited money was around that age.
it's around 60, 65 years old.
Right. When your prime life moments already have passed, you know what I'm saying? And when you're at that age, you're just ready to just relax.
Yeah. Because I thought about it in terms of putting a down payment for like my son's house one day, and I was like, yeah, like I would have loved for my dad when I was 25 or 30 years old to be like, hey, let me put the down payment down for your house, so that by the time like he retires, his house is paid off.
Right.
So like that's a better investment. That's a more meaningful investment,
right,
rather than him struggling throughout his 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Right.
No, let me help you now and help you, put you in a good situation to where, you still got to like do for yourself, but at the same time, I can lessen the burden on you now, so that I'll still have something to give you by the time I'll pass away. But I've contributed to helping your life be just help it be better, like not so much a struggle when you're in your prime years.
Right. Because you can't get that time back when you're in your prime years and you actually get a hold of that money.
Right.
Because I know a few people that actually inherited some money in their later years, and they didn't really have no use for it.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
So was that something that you noticed, like you thought about or recognized before you read the book, or like after you read it, it clicked, like, damn, okay.
After I read it, you get to thinking, and I came across a few people that I knew that actually inherited money, and just like the book said, planned out. So that was a prime example for me to see first thing. So I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and make some changes, and
okay,
because I seen it firsthand.
Okay. So my last question to you is, because you're one of my friends that takes the time to invest in themselves as far as like expanding their mind, like knowledge, educating themselves. So what books would you advise or suggest for young dudes at the building to read, to put on their radar? Like, hey man, you're gonna be in this truck all day. Why don't you go ahead, hit Audible, bro, and just throw this on in the headphones?
Yeah. Well, if somebody is coming to the beginning stages of actually or investing, or they need some help actually setting aside money and learning what to do with it, then I would suggest, it was suggested before on the podcast, The Richest Man in Babylon. That one. I like Think and Grow Rich. Another one, what book is that? I don't know, man. It's just so many of them that I actually be reading. What else we got?
I've read both of those. Both of those are incredible. They're in the library upstairs.
Yeah, actually, this year, I've kind of had a down year. I mean, I've read some books, but it wasn't like the previous year. I went crazy the previous year.
See,
it was over 50 books.
I'm with you. I read 42 the year before last year. I read 42 of them joints. So I said this year, dude, you gotta at least hit 40 again.
Yeah.
Because that was a great year for me.
Yeah, me too.
mentally, physically, spiritually, and I noticed it has something to do with filling my mind with so much good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time.
No, definitely.
Right. Well, Glenn, hey, I appreciate you coming through, man. I think people are really going to enjoy this episode. I think people are going to get to, learn some stuff about you that maybe they didn't know. And you probably going to have some dudes come up to you in the building like, oh, bro, I didn't know that about you. And yeah, man, hey, thank you, bro. I appreciate you for coming through. And eventually, you got to come back and with J. Rudd here, so we can do a little roundtable show.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man.
For sure.
Love what you're doing here.
Appreciate it, man. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to another episode of The Drop Off, and we'll be back with you soon.